Sphere Finance is going to change their liquidity pool and pair it with USD Plus as opposed to MATIC. How is this going to affect us? If you want to know, stay tuned and enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric here and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day and are doing well. Today we are finally getting more news on what's happening with the liquidity pool of Sphere Finance. We're going to be touching base on that and exactly what does this mean. So as we can see right now, we're no longer getting rebases. It's been about a week or so. Rebases are turned off and Sphere Finance is now a deflationary token. So as we can see right now, my position of about 150,000 tokens is worth roughly $1,400, and this is no longer going to go up. The amount of Sphere is going to stay the same unless, of course, I buy or sell more. Now, before we get into what does the liquidity pool mean, what are they doing, taking a look at Sphere Finance's price, it's sitting around right around 1 cent. It's actually just below at 0.0091. And as we can see here on a DEX screener, the liquidity right now is Sphere Finance and Wrapped MATIC. So in order to buy Sphere on Swap or on QuickSwap, you're actually using MATIC in order to buy Sphere. Now, what's going to be happening in the next few days is that they're actually changing the liquidity pool, meaning they're changing what Sphere Finance is actually paired with. So as we can see right now, of course, the entire crypto space has taken a plunge over the last months. And if we just take a look at the price of MATIC itself, this is what Sphere Finance's token is paired to. So of course, you can understand that if this token actually goes down, if MATIC goes down, well, of course, what's going to happen to the price of Sphere? It is, of course, going to go down as well with it. So obviously, taking a look at the price of MATIC in April, we were sitting around $1.60, and of course, as it continued plunging, we saw the effects that this had on the token Sphere Finance, and right now, one MATIC is worth about 52 cents, and at its all-time high, it was around $3, which is completely crazy to think that MATIC is now at 50 cents. But now, going back to the Sphere and MATIC chart, as you can imagine, if the price of MATIC goes down, well, of course, it's going to have an impact on the price of Sphere. So this is a volatile pairing because both tokens are not stable coins and both tokens are actually susceptible to the market pressure. And as we can see over the last few months, both of these have dropped severely in price. Now, what Sphere Finance is going to do is that they are going to remove the MATIC side of things, and they're going to be pairing their Sphere token with a stablecoin. Now, the stablecoin Sphere Finance's token is going to be paired with is Overnight Finance, which is USD Plus. We've talked about it a few times on the channel here, but this is an awesome move in my opinion because USD Plus actually offers a lot of growth opportunity for Sphere Finance. And as we can see, it is pegged to USDC 1-to-1. It is 100% collateralized, and it's also not an algorithmic stablecoin. So there is money for it. If you actually mint USD Plus, you can redeem it for USDC 1-to-1 at any time, and there isn't actually a risk that you won't be able to convert your USD Plus back to USDC. And now another cool thing about USD Plus is that it actually offers rebases, and it's also a way that Sphere Finance is going to grow their liquidity pool. So now if we take a look at the announcement that was published earlier today, here he says that 2.1 has been deployed and they've created a smaller LP on Dystopia and aggregate it on Penrose for the time being. And then he says that this is the last chance to buy Sphere with a bigger LP, referring to Sphere and Wrapped MATIC, the pool we just looked at on a DEX screener. And then he basically says that once we are at 2.1, and this is him referring to the pairing between Sphere and USD Plus, buys will have a bigger impact on the LP. So if you wanted to enter now, you should do that now. So this could be a bit confusing if you're not too sure what's happening. So let me show you exactly what he's trying to say here. If we go on to Dystopia, they've created this pool here, the Sphere Finance and USD Plus pool. So there is liquidity between Sphere and USD Plus. It is a smaller pool, as we can see. There's only about 27,000 Sphere and 287 USD Plus. So of course, if you were to trade in this pool and you'd use, let's say, $1,000, well, you wouldn't be getting a lot of money because the pool is so small. But eventually, when they move completely away from this Sphere slash wrapped MATIC pairing and they go to a full pairing between Sphere and USD Plus, obviously the price impact of using USD Plus and Sphere to purchase or sell is going to be a lot less because there's going to be a lot more in this pool. Now, something important to note here, they do say they're going to have a smaller LP, which basically means that every buy and every sell is going to have a larger impact on the price of Sphere. Now, keep in mind that they are going to be taking some of that 3.7 wrapped MATIC that is in the current liquidity pool, and they are going to use it to farm it and generate yields on that. And in my opinion, that's going to generate more revenue for Sphere, which they can in turn buy back Sphere and burn it in order to push the price of Sphere up. And that's exactly what they say here. They say buy back Sphere with the farmed wrapped MATIC profits and obviously market rally and burn them. So that's their current plan. Again, I'm not too sure how big the LP between USD Plus and Sphere is going to grow to, how much of the current LP is going to be used in that 2.1 LP, but essentially they are going to be using some of the current LP, which is wrapped MATIC, in order to farm it, generate more yields, buy back Sphere, burn it, and then push the price of Sphere up. So if we continue on with this announcement, now that Sphere is deflationary, you can participate to Sphere games. They are also going to increase the amount of winners from 10 to, I'm not too sure what, but there are going to be more than 10 winners now. Then they also say that they are working on a vault contract where you're going to be able to provide Sphere and USD Plus as liquidity and basically earn rewards for providing that liquidity. Now, they also say that they will be incentivizing their own liquidity and their new liquidity, the 2.1 liquidity, which is Sphere and USD Plus on Penrose and on Dystopia. So that basically means that if you go on to Dystopia here, this pool is going to be incentivized by Sphere Finance. And as we know, Sphere Finance has a lot of governance into Dystopia because they've actually helped incubate this whole platform. So imagine if they use their governance vote and they vote for this pool, you're providing liquidity as a liquidity provider for this pool, you're gaining rewards for providing liquidity, and Sphere would be using their governance in order to incentivize people to deposit more of their liquidity into that new pool, basically increasing the amount of votes for that pool in order to increase the amount of rewards you would get for providing liquidity to that pool. So this is what has me excited. I am definitely going to be providing liquidity to this pool in order to gain some fees as rewards, and as well as getting some DIS tokens for providing liquidity on Dystopia. Now, last but not least, they also have another announcement today. They say that they have their first LAAS client, and that stands for Liquidity as a Service. We're not too sure who they are partnering with for this first client, but they are going to have an AMA and more details are going to come out soon. Now, this is awesome because this is obviously another one of these ways that Sphere Finance is going to generate revenue for their own ecosystem. And of course, that's going to help with the buyback and burn of Sphere, push the price of Sphere up, and of course just build the ecosystem. So I'm definitely excited to see who is this partner that is the first client of the Liquidity as a Service sponsored by Sphere. But that is just going to have to wait and see in order for us to get more details. But again, with all that being said, Sphere Finance is moving away from the wrapped MATIC and Sphere pair. They are going to use Sphere and USD use some of that wrapped MATIC in order to farm it and gain yields on it, use those profits in order to actually buy back Sphere and burn it. And lastly, they are creating a vault contract where people are going to be able to stake their Sphere and USD Plus in order to gain rewards for providing liquidity. So with all that being said, those are your updates for Sphere Finance today. If you have any questions, then definitely join the Discord, become active on here. We have a community here where we answer questions and talk about crypto and finance as a whole. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button if you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.